During the year of the Cobra, a prisoner captured by unknown means was transported into the exiled lands, crucified, and left to die for crimes that they may or may not have committed. Death comes swiftly on black wings, until fate intervenes.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Rum Soubrette here on Conan Exiles in the Exiled Lands. We're going to get right into this, and hopefully you'll allow me to also tell you the backstory of my character in a little bit. But basically, I've been exploring some other mods and stuff, some other map mods in Conan Exiles, and although some of them have some amazing work done, they are not ready for human consumption. There are too many bugs, too many issues. In the end, I just kind of gave up all my ideas and all of that, and I've just come back to Conan Exiles. So my name is Dread, this is Parting Mist. This is our character, Rum Soubrette.
Very boundaries of civilization. Beyond the passage of our highways lie the wild places of the world, where untamed savages make endless war upon each other. You cannot pass into the endless wastes enslaved. Your bonding prevents it. Return. Follow the road. Any road. All roads lead to the city.
Some kind of magic? Some kind of talking stone? She's not sure. Grab anything here that we can maybe use for something? Oh, there's a bird there. Why was there a bird there? I had a bow or something. I could have bashed it. Or, a club maybe you can bash it over the head, Oh, there's a body. Oh, there's got a couple of bodies. I think there is somebody out here worse than me. Some more plant fibers. I need them. Here we can. Well, can't really get to that stuff. Can we take these? Oh, no, they're mummified again. What is with this? People on a cross in the desert thing. What kind of people do that? So, Red Rum here, or just Red. She's usually known, actually. Just wants to survive. She wants to get out of this desert or find a village or something. Stick to the road, such as it is. I want you to look at, pick up some of these rocks. I don't want to, carry too many, but you can always throw rocks at something if it comes out of the sand to come at us. I gotta admit, she's not super familiar with deserts. Familiar right now with the high seas in anything. Sticks. How did they get out here? Windstorm blow them out here, maybe? I mean, there's like an oasis or water or something nearby. Maybe. You could fashion some of these rocks and sticks into something useful. Club to bash people with or something. Good golly, what is that? Terrifying beast. Almost like a person. What the heck is that? Body over here. Guessing that's what the creature was feeding on.
Gods curse this sandstorm. We were forced to take refuge before the wind scoured the skin from our faces. There is something in the storm. Beasts. We hear the skittering of their paws outside the ruins, and their howls mingle with the screaming winds. The men are scared. I've put them to work crafting rudimentary weapons and torches from the loose stones and rough plants that dot this place. I've yet to meet a beast that liked fire, or the bite of the axe.
Stone pit. Stone with it. Alright, well, I will in a bit. You can harvest stone here. a stone weapon. Look. Okay, follow the road out of the desert and then craft a bedroll. So we'll be working through some journey steps. I've got some ideas for different builds I'd like to do. I've got some ideas for different things we can try earlier in the game than normally I would. Sort of thing. I'm a Conan veteran, but I've never, done most of the boss battles. I've always played this as a survival game, but we'll certainly try to do this series long enough that we can get ourselves some good thralls and have at the bosses. We'll see how it goes. Craft a bedroll, place the bedroll. Let's craft another one. So we have one. What do you want me to do now? Slay an enemy. The rough wraps and heal myself. Yay! Rough wrap. Take one. Heal myself. Go. You know what? Harvest meat from the corpse. Refill my water skin. Fill my water skin. More levels. Guess I should go the correct direction. Over there, but don't know if anybody here is exactly friendly. There's talk of some curse wall that's keeping everybody in. Some magical bracelets. I can't imagine people here are very happy. Next is access or place a campfire and cook the raw meat. Cook raw meat, eat raw meat. Cool. Finish these off. Did indeed. Craft a stone hatchet. Well, I can't do that. I don't have enough sticks. As I put them in here. Okay, now I can. Use it to cut down a tree. Let's go do that. Got the construction hammer. Boom. Another level. Look at our knowledge points. Get burnt now. Oh. I'll take that back into my inventory, thank you. Strange manner of beast is that? Oh, hello! Can I approach the fire? Hello? Hello!
Another new one, eh? I can smell it on you. Veterans tend to smell just a little more like despair. I'm Arcos. Once a sailor, now a wanderer.
I
You
also
didn't think you were the only one, did you?
am a sailor.
You should go up north. There's whole cities of exiles up there. In the beginning, there were only a few of us. But now, it seems like fresh-faced fools are showing up every week. Not all of them are as friendly as I am, mind you. Watch your step. There are a lot of desperate people out there. Bracelets. You can't remove them.
Damn it! Really?
Saw one fool cut his arm clean off trying to get rid of it.
It is awfully
Bled to
damn
death
tight.
Right there in the sand. Nasty business. Leave it on. You'll start to hear the voices soon enough, and then you'll start seeing the ghosts. I don't think the voices are for us. Not for us here and now.
Like the talking
We were
rock?
talking to somebody else. Back then. Wherever it was. Whenever it was. Those pillars keep us confined here. Some call it the curse wall, or the ghost fence, or just the boundary. Doesn't really matter what it's called, does it? I walked all the way around it once. Had to be careful not to cross it, of course. Once in the north, I saw a few people on the other side, wearing bracelets just like ours, with gems of amber. Makes you wonder. I'm no scholar, but I've met a few who passed through. They all have mad theories about what the ruins scattered around here are. The Mirians, Giant Kings, Kari, Pelusian Serpent Men. Do those names mean anything to you?
Nope.
Never mind. It's my experience that men who have their minds in the past get eaten by crocodiles in the present.
Okay.
In the beginning, there were only a few of us. Now, it seems like fresh-faced fools are showing up every week. Not all of them are as friendly as I am, mind you. Watch your step. A lot of desperate people.
Let's see here. Archer. Let's craft the bow. And probably some arrows. Power shot an enemy, you don't really have to kill anything. Just gotta do that. Go back to here. Also go into here. Off that stuff and save it. Well, Argos wasn't a very interesting person, but you got him talking enough to get a little bit of lay of the land. It's heard to go far enough down the river, there are pirates. They're not very friendly sort for the most part, but she thinks maybe that would change for her. She's at least used to dealing with them, the pirates. That critter is angry. So, yeah. Maybe she can make something of that. Maybe she won't. Maybe she'll explore for a while down here and then go the other direction. Let's say. For now, who could say? Another relaxing day in Conan Exiles. Now, some of the map mods I was playing made Conan Exiles significantly harder, which was quite interesting, and it also significantly changed the way the map looks. We gotta see if we can defeat this. We beat up a crocodile before, it's just been a while. Arrows. Didn't do that much good, mind you, but still. Yeah, so significantly changed the map and stuff. Was still the Exiled Lands, recognizable in some areas, but very built up upon, and it was very cool stuff they were doing. It was just very, very buggy. To the point where you couldn't build anything, so yeah. I'm not going to name the mod or the mod author or anything else. I'm not trying to shame anybody or anything else. They're actually doing a wonderful job. It's just your mod shouldn't be any kind of full release if it's in that shape still. Just keep it in beta testing. Have people have to come onto your Discord and, you know, ask to be part of it, not just up for free on Steam. I know it's free, and I know, you know, people work on it very, very hard, long hours, for many years often. But I just think there's some realization that it's not yet in a shape where you want people thinking it is, and then be disappointed. You know? That's all. And I wouldn't have bothered to try it if I had known it wasn't in proper shape. I just wouldn't have. Would have waited until it was a proper shape. Then I wouldn't have had wasted all those hours. Time I can't get back. That's all. So I came back to vanilla Conan. I mean, it's modded, obviously. I mean, we're running these mods here. Don't mind Savage Wilds or Isle of Women. I do play on Isle of Women, and I have played Savage Wilds before. I just leave it in the mod list. Whether or not I go back to play any of those at this point, I don't know. Level 7, eh? $79 armor. It's not great. It's not great. Hopefully it's enough to kill this guy. Survive a hit or two if we take some. Shit. Bled out. But he moved up on me fast. Little bugger. Well, we've looked bloodier before and survived, so that's good. In fact, she's survived a hell of a lot already in her young life. I think we'll just say no to the human flesh. Do we have any? Oh, there it is. Yeah, no. No, thank you. A pass. No thanks. Bye-bye. Make another bedroll. Go on going. Want to grab this? I'll grab a little bit of iron. I can carry some right now. Why not? Crocodiles. Oh, goody. Wow. More. Alright, let's have a swim. Hopefully they don't follow us out here. I can't see the encampment over here, but I know it's there. It just hasn't loaded in yet. So she would be able to see that and know to stay away from it. go in this direction. Make ourselves a torch. Sure gonna need that. And we get to shore, we might need it actually. Yep, getting a little dark. Another level. Sure, sure. Take it now. Level 8. Yep. More crocodiles on the beaches. Yep. Build a foundation. Build a foundation or two over here, I think. Guessing we can... Probably can't even build more than one. Can't even build one. Okay, build a wall. Build a door frame. Build a piece using the building picker. It's going to say build more walls. Build a ceiling. Stop it. Just climb in. Sure, just climb in that way. That's wonderful. Wow. Need to build a door now or something, don't you? Build a door. I can't. I would need more twine, more wood. make a door now. Come on. Access or place a wooden box. I'll do that in a moment. Wooden box, eh? Probably can't make that now. Right? We don't have enough twine. Here. Just to make a box, right? This is obviously only a temporary home here. Maybe that we're making just a little shelter. Store something in the box. And the reward. Okay. Let's. Damn it. Stone. Over this way. Set of stairs here. We're missing a wall here, yep. Go up the stairs and in, finish the ceiling off. Okay, our first little place here. We have built in this area. Another one of those. build a second one of these. Throw one down here. Have anything to cook? Oh, I just guess that's not true. I guess I do. That stuff up. Can I repair that? Yes, I can. Open that. Let's open this as well. I store in here. Water skin's pretty good. Put that there. Torch can go in there. Okay. It gives us something here on the map. Here we are. It's just the way it is. Another point there. What have we got in knowledge here? Five points left to spend. Torchbearer, 4 points left. Nothing here except for that. Don't need that yet. Here, nothing here. Okay. You know, did we even choose? I don't even think we chose a religion. It just ended up defaulting, I guess, to Mitra. I forgot to choose one. Oh well. That's the kind of things you do sometimes in character creation. You forget something, you miss something. You know how it is. All right, so let's talk a little bit about my character. I like to give my characters a story, a reason for being here, and something that kind of drives them forward, gives me a somewhat of a personality for them, and it kind of, helps with the gameplay, I think. I think that kind of thing is important. So, yeah, she's tough. She was born Soubrette. Just Soubrette. She grew up in a big city, on the dirty, dusty streets, surviving any which way she can. An orphan. There weren't many people she could trust, certainly not many adults at least. The kids? Well, the children were slightly better. At least they wouldn't abuse you, kidnap you, enslave you, or torture or kill you. She always lived one step ahead of the slavers, sticking to the shadows. She knew kids who ended up in the hands of those unscrupulous human beings, sold off in the market to the highest bidder, usually never seen again. And she had to be good to escape attention. She was tall and lanky with flaming red hair, and she stuck out like a peg leg on a princess. At age 14, after a growth spurt filled out some of her womanly parts, she got a job at a local tavern. Slinging ale from bar to table, there was just sawdust on the floor and some half-melted candles on the tables. Just really not much to the place, but it was something. So there, under those hazy candlelights, she eventually learned the fine art of allowing herself to be touched and pawed and patted, but only as much as need be to get the tips she lived off of. But by the time she was 16, she began to supplement her income by allowing far more than a few roaming hands to come her way. She had moved to an even more seedy bar, a tavern down by the docks, as that was where the most drunk people were, those who were most free with their coins. Full of dock workers, soldiers, sailors, and pirates, it was quite a raucous crowd every night, and Soubrette grew to love it. By her 18th birthday, though, she had attracted the wrong sort of gaze. A pirate captain who visited the tavern had taken a fancy to her, watching her move and work and wink and swirl night after night. She hadn't had any more interactions with him than any other man in the tavern, but when he learned that it was her birthday, he insisted on buying drinks for the whole bar. Amid the cheering, he laid a gold coin on the table and winked at her, asked her to merely sit on his lap for a moment, and tipped back a cool mug of ale before returning to her hard work. She did just that, tossing back the ale quickly and getting back to her feet and moving on, hoping the tavern owner didn't notice her having a drink while on the job, and of course, sliding the gold coin off the table, as that was now hers. The tavern owner, though, was the least of her worries this night. She made a killing in tips, belatedly wishing she could claim that every night was her birthday, but truth be told, as an orphan, she wasn't incredibly sure that today was her birthday, but one day out of the year had to be, so she chose this one every year, something in the ballpark of the time of year when she was born. She knew little about her life as a baby and toddler. Barely anyone talked to her of her mother anymore. Excuse me. But this day, as she left the tavern through the back door with sunrise approaching, she headed down the street towards a small rooming house where she rented herself a spot by the month. That was when Soubrette was grabbed by several pairs of hands, pulled into the shadows, a bag placed over her head, and then she was hit on the top of her head, and she blacked out. She came to, she's laying on a dirty bunk, tied hands and feet, and by the rolling motion, she knew that she was a seed. Excuse me. Always got to cough at the worst times, right? And so Soubrette came to be upon the Grey Ghost pirate vessel. The captain actually treated her well, considering she was a prisoner. And though he had deep feelings for her, he never forced himself upon her, nor would he let anyone else aboard do the same. Now, to make a long story shorter and to completely gloss over many major developments in Soubrette's life, she spent 3.5 years on the ship. After about 6 months, the crew mutinied against the captain. They didn't like him keeping this girl on board, and they especially didn't like that they could not have a piece of her. So they had the captain walk the plank at sea. And then the crew turned to her. And when the new captain, the former first mate, approached her with a glint in his eye and licking his lips, she brought up her fists and punched him straight in his face, breaking his nose. She proceeded to hit him a few more times, leaving him bloody and broken. To her surprise, the crew cheered for her loudly, loving the entertainment. Even the new captain nodded at her approvingly from behind his bloody nose. And so she became a full crew member that day. Oh, she still had to fend off, the drunken pirate hands, and at times she chose to not fend them off, if you know what I mean. And her second night as a real pirate, after the new captain was feeling a little bit better, they had a party on boat in her honor, and she got very sick on some insanely potent red rum, and that is when they took to calling her Red Rum Soubrette, or mainly just Red. Now, when Soubrette was 21, the Grey Ghost sank. They were in a high seas battle, one which they lost, and they limped their ship into a fog bank to try to escape, but there was too much water coming in, and they didn't catch it in time. They were busy trying to put out the fires, and they missed the holes below the waterline, and so the ship broke apart and sank. By the way, thank you so much for letting me tell this little story. I appreciate it. As she clung to a barrel on the open seas, Soubrette had to admit she wasn't sorry that most of these fellows would lose their lives. In spite of living with them and among them for 2.5 years, she wasn't really all that fond of any of them, except for Mr. Pickles. Mr. Pickles was her best friend on board, and she was actually quite distraught with the fear that he had lost his life to the sea. She was rescued by a ship after a day or so clinging to that barrel. Weak and exhausted, hauled aboard the fishing vessel, she lay on her back on the deck and passed out. It was night when she awoke. They were adrift on a sea of fog, and the crew were quietly discussing what to do with her. As she listened in, it seemed a number of the crew favored selling her to slavers to earn a good chunk of coin. Fishing season had been hard on them, and the coin was scarce. She had heard all that she needed to. She lowered the rowboat over the side, and then slipped into it, The fog magnified the sounds of her rowing, but it also confused where it was coming from, and so she made her slow escape. She was, again, picked up a few days later, almost dead from heat exhaustion and delirious from lack of water. People on this boat spoke very little of any language that she knew, but she was able to ask them to take her to the nearest town. 2 days later, she sighted land at last, and the ship pulled in and weighed anchor near a shallow cove. Then they loaded her into a longboat and rowed her ashore. There were no other people in sight on the lonely stretch of beach. Now, nevertheless, Soubrette was glad to be leaving these strange people behind. During her 2 days aboard the vessel, the men had taken advantage of her in her weakened state, and every man aboard had had his way with her, at least twice, some of them more than that. She had been given no choice, no compensation, and they had taken no thoughts of her well-being at all. Soubrette hoped that she was not pregnant from all of that. As she and the 4 men with her got out of the boat, she stretched her toes in the wet sand. When she saw the men arguing amongst themselves and pointing inland, she looked closer and saw that 2 of the men had small shovels in their hands. Soubrette didn't think these men intended to let her go, not at all, at least not while she was still living. And so she did what any rational pirate lass would do. She lunged forward, grabbed one of the shovels, and began to lay into the 4 men, striking hard and fast. But it didn't last long before they grabbed her arms and contained her. One of the men lay unmoving on the sand with a large gash on top of his head. That may have been the first one she hit with a shovel. She wasn't quite sure. Looked like she had killed him. Add it to her scorecard. As a pirate, she had ended a fair number of men in battle. The other 3 men looked angry now, and they roughly got her moving, walking her off the beach into the jungle beyond. But soon the jungle too petered out and became rolling desert dunes. Miles and miles of sand was all there was to be seen. Eventually, after several hours of walking, they came to a small row of white crosses in the desert. Mummified remains of people were still hung on them. But one of the men held her tight. 2 of the others lifted one of the crosses out of the ground, setting it down. They then removed a golden bracelet with some sort of dull gem on it from the wrist of the mummified person. They brought it over and they forced it onto Soubrette's wrist. It seemed to snap into place, tightening up instantly. And then the men dragged her over to the cross, kicked apart the deceased person's dry remains so they were out of the way, and they tied her wrists and ankles firmly and tight to the cross. The men then raised it back up and set it back into place. And all 3 of the men stood and stared at her for a moment, and then they all spat at her one at a time and turned and walked away. And there she would remain the rest of that day and all of that night and halfway through the next painful day before someone came into view. That's the story of how Soubrette got from being a small child on the streets of a city as an orphan to meeting some guy named Conan who rescued her off a cross, and she's now trapped behind a ghost fence. This, people, is my story for Red Rum Soubrette. I hope we come back and check out some more of this series. And I'm bringing you some more, so hope you will. Don't forget, this channel is all about the arts. I love art and video games. I love when the video game designers come out and talk about the art and the design they put into the games and how they go about doing things and where they take inspiration from. And I love it when you walk in, play a game, and it looks and feels gorgeous. That is wonderful, wonderful works of art. But there are many works of art out there. I encourage you to get involved in there. Don't hold back. Go to an art gallery. Go see some paintings. Go to a museum. Go watch somebody who makes furniture by hand. Watch somebody who makes pottery. Go get involved with a painter, an artist, a tattoo artist, something with band members. Go see a local band in your town. Go support them. Just get out there and do stuff, people, that's artsy, and don't be afraid of it. And most of all, do some art yourself. You don't have to be great. You'll never be great at something when you first start, and you may never choose to do it enough to be great. But do some art anyways, and then show somebody else and inspire them to be the next Ronald Reagan. I don't know. Apparently he was an actor before he was a president. Yeah, right? Okay, so be the next Ronald Reagan. Or, the next Val Kilmer. Or the next Tom Cruise. Or the next any in the jets. I don't know. I'm just saying. You never know. Get involved in the art, support artists, support art, support content creators who are doing art. My name is Dread. This is Parting Mist. Leave AI out of art. Keep it in the hands of humans. It's important. This is Red Rum Soubrette here at Conan Exiles.